We promised we'll deliver our NFL All-Pro team. We're going to start with our defense and our special teams today. Cademan, hit him with a little bit of that flute action.
Nah, I'm good, bro.
And Cademan ditched the flute. My name is AJ Herschel, also known as the Kid, and the fluteless man sitting right next to me virtually is Cade Moore.
Keep going. Oh, yeah.
Bauer.
Impressive.
Thank you. I was going to keep going, but I don't want to hurt the viewers' ears and immediately make them stop watching. So, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to the one and only Allied Rivals podcast. My name's AJ Herschel, the Kid. Right over there, that's my boy, Cademan Bauer. How you doing today, man? I heard that it snowed a lot by you.
It didn't snow a ton, but there's still a ton of snow just from the whole winter. So, went in the backyard and wrestled with my brothers in the snow.
Nice.
Did a little bit of snow fording, so that was kind of fun.
Nice.
So I'm doing real good. How are you, AJ?
I'm doing good. For me, we were online. I was online for school today, and we got out by 2. We got out an hour early. I was like, let's go. I was excited about that. And, once again, another podcast in the Allied Rivals. Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Hey, my internet went out. I'm sorry. We're working on it. If anybody else is here, please know that messed up internet is part of the Allied Rivals experience. You gotta be in a moment with us as we lose our tabs and connection with the internet multiple times. We're working on it.
Yeah.
So, Cademan, I think that's enough filibustering. Are you ready to get into our Allied Rivals All-Pro Team of the year 2021, I guess? Is it which year?
Yeah.
2021 All-Pro Team?
2021. Yeah.
2021 All-Pro Team. Let's go. Very excited. Before we get started, we just want to remind everyone to make sure that you do subscribe to the channel and make sure you also check out our playlist. We have an Allied Rivals Shorts playlist up as well. Be sure to check that out. We're coming out with a new one soon. And be sure to check out our friends at KDT Wiffle Ball as well. Just want to give them another shout out. Came on the episode a couple of ones ago about the MLB. Be sure to go check them out and our episode as well. Cademan, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's get into it.
All right.
What I know a lot of people wouldn't stay for the end if we mentioned kicker except me. So why don't you go ahead and do that? Start us off with our 2021 kicker of the year, my man.
Young Waku from the Atlanta Falcons.
Yes, sir.
Really good. I mean, he had to I don't know. He didn't even have the most kick attempts, but I think he only missed 2 out of 40 or something like that. Really good. I think he also had the most for more than 50-yard field goals. Just really good. And the whole Falcons offense depended on Young Waku.
Mm-hmm. Yep, there you go. Which unfortunately for them, it happened a lot. For Young Way this year. They really needed him. I think he had most kicks, most field goals made this year, I believe, along with 56. So yeah, definitely deserving a spot on our Allied Rivals All-Pro team. Finishing off our special teams, I've got return specialist Cordero Patterson from my Chicago Bears. Look, if you watched the Chicago Bears in the early first half of the year and thought, wow, this team can't get past the 35-yard line, 30 of those yards came from Cordero Patterson. He had one of the best kick return averages out of anyone in the NFL this year. Had a big kick return for a touchdown against the Minnesota Vikings this year, throwing up the deuces on his way to the end zone. The dude got 30 yards, had 700 yards by the end of the season. Just on kick returns alone, averaged 30 yards per return. He's getting up there in age for a kick and punt returner for sure, but he's still a very, very good one, and he's very, very quick. Definitely deserves to be up here. Our other one we got for punter, we have Jack Fox from the Detroit Lions, and you know that he's going to be up here because he had to punt quite a lot this year. This dude averaged almost 50 yards a punt in airtime after punting some of the, I think, second most in the entire league. The dude is just a machine when it comes to punting footballs. He had a long of 67 yards, I believe, if I'm correct about that. So Detroit definitely used him. He delivered the entire year.
Yeah. All right. Now that we're done with the boring stuff.
Oh, my goodness. You're terrible. You're terrible.
Yeah. All right. All right. If you're watching, get excited because it is now time for the defense.
Yes, sir. We're going to start with our secondary. We're going to start the second. Caveman, you're in charge of cornerbacks and safeties. Which one do you choose to start with, my good sir?
Let's start with the cornerbacks.
Go ahead.
Xavier Howard, a ton of interceptions. Seems like he got one like one or every other game. Like, he was insane. He allowed like really low completion rate. But Jalen Ramsey, another. He also, I think he had the lowest completion rate allowed. But also he didn't get thrown to a lot because of that. So if his stats weren't flying high, I think that was part of the reason. Yeah. And then Jair Alexander, pretty similar with Jalen Ramsey, one of the best, just both really athletic guys with good vision. So corners, all three deserve to be up there. And we had three because we couldn't decide.
Yeah, exactly.
So all three of those guys. And for our safeties, you guys all know, Tyrann Mathieu, insane.
Dominant.
Yep. All over the field. Literally the run, the pass, he would get sacks too. He was great. And then Budda Baker, literally every game seemed like he was covering the hardest receiver in the NFL. He played D-Hop, not D-Hop. My thing, he's on D-Hop's team. He played the Seahawks fairly well, considering other parts of his secondary were injured, and he was just doing it all year. Just super good.
Yep. And look, we don't hold it against Budda Baker that he got chased down by DK Metcalf. That would have happened to any of us.
AJ, how about you bring us to whatever's next?
Whatever's next. Okay, we've got the middle linebackers up next, and this is a tight trio of middle linebackers, man. First off, we got my man Roquan Smith, the biggest Pro Bowl snub maybe in the history of the Pro Bowl. He finished in the top 10, top 5 of almost all of the NFL major defensive statistics, while being out for some of the final games of the season. He had some of the most solo tackles, 98 this year, 4 sacks, and got himself 2 interceptions as well. I mean, this guy, I was a little bit worried. You know I love him. He's my Georgia boy, dude. I love this guy. So I was a little bit worried coming into his 3rd year, but he transitioned super well on a defense that already has a lot of playmakers. So to be able to stand out is very tough. But he had did an incredible job this year. Fred Warner, one of the best pass coveraging linebackers in the NFL today. He's a rock on a 49ers defense that was tough the entire year, despite their offense having multiple injuries and their defensive line having multiple problems the entire season. And then finally, look, this was not Bobby Wagner's best year. We all know in terms of tackles. This was not Seattle's best year as a defense by far, but he's still one of the best leaders in football. There's a reason he's perennially up here. He's basically the Mike Trout of the NFL. He's not going to win every single award, but he's going to get nominated just about every time. That's how good he is. And for the outside linebackers, we went with a duo of Buccaneers linebackers, and part of this, we are looking at the...
Did you forget about Fred Warner?
No, I said Fred Warner, 49ers defense. That was really tough. I got him. I got you.
I must have been not paying attention.
Oh, you good. No bad. You good. No worries. No problem. Our outside linebackers, both from Tampa Bay. We are taking into consideration for this also the playoffs. I know that doesn't really happen in the NFL, but for our purposes, we are. And we chose Jason Pierre-Paul and Devin White. First off, Jason Pierre-Paul is just a freak of nature. The dude, he feels like he's been around for 50 years, and he's only 30. He had an incredible season on a great defensive line for Tampa Bay this year. 9.5 sacks, which really just completely shows alone how good he is. 55 combined tackles as well. And also he added 2 interceptions somehow this year. He's definitely always been at least very, very good, but this year we consider him the best, one of the best linebackers. Right across from him, Devin White, man. This dude is in his 2nd season. He played 15 games, and he finished with 9 sacks, 140 tackles, and then in the playoffs, he was just absolutely dominant, especially when going up against Patrick Mahomes. Had her quarterback hurries through the roof in that final game in the Super Bowl. Look, we had a bunch of other NFC people, but this one belongs to the double Buccaneers here when it comes to outside linebackers. Definitely deserved.
Yep. All right, my turn.
Defensive tackle, my good man.
Defensive tackle. All right, sir. Aaron Donald.
Obviously,
we understand it. All right, DeForest Buckner was also really good with the Colts. I mean, he had other guys helping him, but he was really the leader in that defensive line, really getting to the quarterback, always putting pressure. He had his share of sacks and tackles as well. So, yeah, really good. AJ, what does that bring us to?
Yes, sir. That brings us to our defensive ends, and I've got this one. First of all, we've got Myles Garrett, and you talked about it. This guy, before he got injured, was arguably the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year. He only played 14 games this year, but in those 14 games, he got himself 12 sacks and 18 quarterback hits, 10 tackles for loss as well. The guy is a freak of nature on a Cleveland Browns team that really is anchored by him. He is the heart and soul of that defense, and he was absolutely dominant. And then on the other side, you've got Khalil Mack, the Chicago Bears, and yeah, he didn't have the most sacks in his career. He didn't have the most tackles in his career or quarterback hits. But believe it or not, this guy was one of the top-rated. He was the top-rated linebacker by Pro Football Focus this year. An outside linebacker, edge rusher, defensive end, whatever we're calling those now. The guy is efficient. He's a great run stopper. He's still one of the best, and it helps that he finished with 9 sacks. We got a man in the comment section. Chung says, hello. Hello to you as well, sir. Let us know. What did you think about the NFL and the All-Pro team as well? Cademan, that brings us to our final position after Myles Garrett and Khalil Mack, and you've got your edge rushers, and I know you're happy to talk about one of these boys.
Well, first, T.J. Watt should have gotten Defensive Player of the Year, in my opinion. He missed, I don't know, 1 or 2 games, and he still had more sacks. He still had almost as many tackles, forced fumbles, and all of that. He was just behind. I think he should have gotten Defensive Player of the Year. I don't know. Yeah. I like the guy. We all know how good he is. We all know. Yeah. And then Zadarius Smith, just a ton of sacks. A ton of forced fumbles, actually, as well. Oh, and I forgot to mention about T.J. Watt. He also had an interception.
Yep. Always
which was a big deal for him. Zadarius Smith, back to him, though. I don't know. Just fast guys that are always off the line. And both of these guys, super athletic and fast and always to the quarterback. So,
yeah.
Yep.
There you go. And especially with Zadarius Smith, the second half of the year, he exploded.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And then T.J. Watt, like you said, he missed a game and still finished the league with most sacks and tackles for loss on top of that. He didn't even have to try in week 17. So just to wrap us up, one more time, we got a return specialist, Cordero Patterson, punter, Jack Fox, kicker, Younghoe Koo, safety, Tyrann the Honey Badger Mathieu, and Budda Baker. I get chased down by DK Metcalf from the Arizona Cardinals. Xavier Howard, Jalen Ramsey, Jair Alexander's are our corners. Roquan, Bobby Wagner, and Fred Warner, Roquan Smith are our middle linebackers. Outside linebackers, the boys from Tampa, JPP, Jason Pierre-Paul, Devin White. Defensive tackles, Aaron Donald and DeForest Buckner. Defensive ends, Myles Garrett and Khalil Mack. And our edge rushers, T.J. Watt and Zadarius Smith. Cademan, I think that's a fine lineup, don't you think?
Some good stuff right there.
Absolutely. And be sure to check out later. We're going to try to get an episode done tomorrow, and that is going to focus on our offensive side of the football. We're only doing defensive special teams here, so you definitely want to make sure you are subscribed with notifications on, but I'm not going to shill for likes that much. You guys have been on YouTube before. You know how the algorithm works. Cademan, anything else to say about our All-Pro team before we pull something out of the background?
So, AJ, how about you start pulling something out of the background?
Okay, I haven't started us in a while. All right, let's roll with this. So, This is going to be really weird. So, Cademan, I don't know if you ever watched this. But do you remember the NFL Rush Zone site? Do you remember that?
I can't say I do, but I think if you showed it to me, then I would.
Okay, gotcha. So this show, this online game had 3 seasons of a television show as well. One of them is just a mini series. One of them was a genuine, like, actual season. Then they also had a season 2. I have watched those 2 seasons a long time. They made up my childhood. And then one year, McDonald's, of all restaurants, comes out with Happy Meal toys for every single NFL team and their rusher. I have all 32 of them, all of the cards. It took a while to collect from McDonald's. I had some help as well, but this is my Chicago Bears one. You see, they got a little bit of information as well about the Chicago Bears rusher, and this is the dude. It comes with what these we call mega cores, and of course the rusher themselves. For all of you guys who love the NFL and maybe feel nostalgic, go look up the NFL Rush on TV show. The entire show is for free on YouTube right now. Go watch it. It is part of my childhood, man. What about you? What do you got for us?
All right, I got Reggie White.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah, gotta love Reggie White, bro.
Impressive. One of the best ever, if not the best.
If not the best.
Yeah.
Probably the best.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
All right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap us up. Be sure to check out our Allied Rivals shorts, videos, playlists we have. Thank you for watching our all-pro defense and special teams list. Be sure to watch our offense coming out tomorrow. I don't know what I'm saying anymore, so we're going to go ahead and log off. See you guys next time on the one and only Allied Rivals podcast. Have a great day, everyone.
See ya.